Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another fun-filled night here at the WCTV studios in Wareham. And it's Spirit Connections with myself, Tiffany Rice, Spirit Medium, and Stephanie Burke, Spirit Medium. Do you like that voice? The Spirit Medium? How you doing?
Good. I want to start off by saying today is Tuesday, April 16th, 2013. So for all of you that are watching, whether it be live now or if you watch a repeat, whether it be on YouTube or WCTV, we only take phone calls between 7 and 8 on Tuesday live. Other than that, we don't take any phone calls. It's the only time that we're here in the studio doing the show.
And that's a good point because we've noticed, not that we don't want to hear from you guys, because we definitely want to hear from you, but I know at the studio they always do the replays on Fridays and Sundays, I believe, and I know that...
We've been getting a lot of phone calls during those repeats, so we want to make sure that we catch you guys live on the show and that you're able to call in and able to ask your questions. So definitely tune in on Tuesdays between 7 and 8, and we're here and we'll answer anything you want.
Absolutely, absolutely. So 7 and 8, just remember, on Tuesdays. And that goes for you guys, too, that are watching the archive videos on YouTube. Tuesdays, 7 to 8.
Right. But if you guys do have a question and you don't want to wait till Tuesday, you can always reach either of us. We're both on Facebook. We're both on Twitter. You can email us. There's plenty of ways to get in touch with us. So
Stephanie Burke on Facebook, Spirit Medium Tiffany on Facebook. So we always want to hear, if you have questions, if you have suggestions, we want to hear it. So definitely please get in touch with us. Well, I want to talk about yesterday. I want to talk about the Boston Marathon and some of the events that took place. I just want to acknowledge, because it was such a tragic event that, and it's horrendous and ignorance, but I know Stephanie and I and everybody else here at WCTV, we definitely are praying for Boston and praying for the victims and families that have been affected by this disaster. It's definitely horrific.
Yep, this event definitely hit home to a lot of us here in the Boston area. Hit home for me especially. You know, my husband's out there working every day as a law enforcement officer for our country, and this is definitely something that, you know, thank you to everyone there that was responding, first responders, EMS, hospitals, doctors, nurses, law enforcement, military, everybody that was there to respond to this horrific act of, I don't even know what to call it.
Violence, ignorance.
You know, and it shouldn't have happened, and unfortunately it did, but Boston is resilient as they come. This is the heart of our country, and we will get past it, but do not forget what happened, and, you know, pray for everybody that was involved, and pray for the people that are still there working around the clock to keep us safe, to get to the bottom of it, and to make sure that this does not happen again.
And like you said, we're continuing to work, and I know I have some good friends that have their husbands in law enforcement, and same thing. It's, you know, they got called on, and basically they're saying no days off. We're working until we get everybody safe and sound.
Yeah, I don't think everybody realizes how hard it is for those people. So yes, that's what they're here for, and that's what they're supposed to do. But when something like this happens, it's out of this world.
And they're human too.
Yep.
They're human too,
so,
even though they're trained.
I mean, I posted yesterday on Facebook, but I'll say it again, you know, pray for Boston, you know, be kind to others, hug everybody a little bit longer than usual, tell your loved ones how much you love them and how much they mean to you, and pay it forward. Make sure that you're out there doing good things for other people too, because that's how this world works, and that's the only way we're going to survive.
Amen. But, and believe me, we understand the feelings of negative feelings that you guys feel, because again, we're human too. But remember, you have to try to, again, pray, keep a positive note, somehow try to keep a positive note, because there are families that do really need that positivity right now, and we have to put that negative feeling that's pounding so hard in our hearts right now aside, so we can...
No, I wouldn't even say put it aside. Let it drive you. Let it drive you to do good things, because that's... to tell people to put it aside right now, I think it's a little difficult, because even myself, I'm holding back, you know, fear, anger, everything else, because you want to know why this happened. And, you know, we all felt this way during 9/11, absolutely 100%. As young as I was, you still felt that feeling of not being safe and that anger toward people that would want to hurt you. Just the same thing that we feel in our everyday lives when something like that happens. But let it drive you to do good things, to let us all come together. You know, they said united we stand, and that was for a reason. So definitely go out, do good things for yourself and for others that you care about, people that you don't even know, because that's what's going to keep everybody going around and getting through things like this. So there's a lot more to come. Like they said, you know, everything is in the stages of infancy right now. So I think that, you know, we covered everything we possibly could, and we'll just sit tight and wait to see what happens.
And definitely raise that vibration. You know, like Steph said, we have to come together. So, with our thoughts that go out to the family and victims, again, we will continue to pray.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, today we have some guests on that I'm very excited to talk about, because it's been a little while since I've seen these guys. They're the St. Lawrence Association Paranormal of Science. Mm-hmm. They're out of Messina, New York, and I've actually met these guys. And you were with me, right? This was a couple years ago.
Yes.
It was the South Coast Paranormal and Psychic Fair in Fairhaven, Mass. And Stephanie and I were there. And I actually, for those of you guys who don't know, which you may not know because we're in Massachusetts, but they are ghost investigators. Mm-hmm. They go out and they do a lot of, whether it's residential homes or whether it's bigger facilities, they go out just like we do and see what goes bump in the night. So it's kind of funny how we ran into them, and I have a clip to show you guys of their web show, S.L.A.P.S 360, and this is actually them referring to how I met them. So Warren, if you want to play the clip.
We went to a presentation room to see Brian Harlow and his group talk about their documentary. When we got in there, it was not them, it was Tiffany Rice, because they were a little behind schedule.
And mind you, to walk into this place, you literally have to walk in front of the person presenting and
right.
the crowd to walk out, so it's obviously rude to do that.
Right. So we weren't going to get up and leave, but knowing, and we didn't, you know, we had no clue what was going on. I mean, honestly, I'd heard of Tiffany before, but, you know, I thought she was just going to come out and talk about what she did. Well, she was going to talk about, you know, do a group reading kind of thing, see if anybody would come out.
Kind of like John Edwards.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, we kind of chuckled, you know, like, well, I was thinking to myself, man, she doesn't want to come to me because, you know, I wouldn't exploit her or anything, but I would definitely tell her if she was wrong or if she was right. You know, I wasn't going to sugarcoat it.
And the whole time I'm thinking, man, I hope they go to him.
Yeah. And sure enough, a couple readings into it, made eye contact with me. And
we were like in the back of the row, and she kind of like looked over and all of a sudden zeroed right in on Donnie and just walked right toward him. It was funny.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was, I don't want to say life-changing, but it really, really opened my mind to the whole psychic thing, because she hit on stuff that Nate didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, it was shocking.
I mean, and
just to see his reaction to it, I mean, it was very shocking.
Yeah, it definitely caught me off guard, I'll say that much.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was just phenomenal. I don't even know what to say about it. Even to, you know, it's been, 3, 4, 5 days since, and it's just, I kind of sit in bed at night going, wow, you know, I can't believe that just happened. So.
I gotta imagine, I bet you that did have a big impact on you.
It had a huge impact.
Especially, I mean, without going too much into it, there were just some things that I can't imagine anybody but your close family would know.
Right.
And this is someone that's in Massachusetts. I mean, you can look up Donnie all day long. There's no way you're going to find out anything about him or his life.
Yeah, this isn't nothing I would have on Facebook.
No.
I mean, I kind of keep things bottled up. I don't, you know, say what's really on my mind when it comes to this stuff, but it was crazy, absolutely crazy. And I mean, I wish we had the camera going, you know.
Oh, man, trust me, I was kicking my butt when it all went down. Hey.
And that's pretty much what happened. So, so tonight, hi guys, on the phone we have Donnie, Nate, and Vinny. How you guys doing?
Great. How you guys doing tonight?
Good. Excellent. I'm so excited to finally have you guys on.
Yeah, it's been like a year in the making.
It has been. I hope everybody at home can hear them. If not, make sure you get in the chat room and we can do something to turn up the volume. But this is one of our first shows that we are actually able to talk to someone that's out of state, and it's by phone. I know we've had Cody on before through Skype, and so this is our first attempt, so hopefully it runs smoothly. But for those of you guys that are just joining us, we have S.L.A.P.S on. They are a paranormal investigating group from St. Lawrence. It's the St. Lawrence Association of the Paranormal Science. I got that right, guys?
That was nice.
Okay, good. I'm just used to saying S.L.A.P.S. It's a lot easier.
It's much easier.
So tell me, how long have you guys been investigating for?
About 7 years.
7 years? And did you just...
Yeah, we started, we got a delay.
You probably want to turn down the volume if you have the chat room on at your house.
Oh, no, we got everything turned out. Okay.
Oh, okay, sorry. So you've been investigating?
Yeah, we started 7 years ago.
Okay.
And it just started out where we would go to residential houses. And it kind of got to the point where people start calling us more and more. I don't think that Facebook, our followers are well over 2,000 now, and we're averaging about, I'd say, 100 a week now.
Wow, okay. So, actually, Warren, I was going to actually tell you guys, the viewers, who's who on the picture that's popping up. Okay, so we have Nate, and who's next to Nate? Nate with long hair. I know, we showed you with the haircut. I heard you're going to cut your hair again. Are you going to do that?
Yeah, I might go mohawk again. I don't know.
Do the little mohawk. Well, it's getting to be warm out. Usually guys do that, right? They usually just cut their hair in the warm weather. But we have Nate, and then Nate, who's next to you?
That'd be Todd, our teammate Todd. He's not with us right now.
Can you guys speak up just a little bit more?
Yep, that'll be Todd. That's next to me.
Okay.
And then from there, there's Tiffany, and he's here with us. And I don't know if she's not up anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're like, oh, I don't see the picture.
Yeah.
Donnie and Brad, right?
Yeah, Pat's in the background there, and then there's Donnie, and then Brad Rousseau's on the end.
Excellent. Now, you guys have worked with Brad. I know when I say Brad, for those of you at home, it's Brad Michael Rousseau, who is a film director. That's what he enjoys doing, and he's creating Haunted New York. So you guys actually did a film called Weird Vibes with him, is that right?
Yes, we did. That was on, a year and a half ago now? Yeah, about a year.
And what was that about?
Basically what we did with that is Brian Hardaway from Goldfingers International, RI, he came up to the area, and he went to a house with us that we've been to about 5 or 6 different times. Some great paranormal things were happening in the house, and we were just lucky to have Brian there with his documented everything.
So, how do you think your experience was?
The experience was awesome. I mean, just first of all, working with Brian, you kind of, we described it as kind of going through a 180 from where we began. You know, he's the guy that we sat on our couch watching on TV before we even started. And having him there with us was kind of surreal for us. But in the same breath, they do things the same way we do. That kind of made us feel a lot better about what we're doing.
Right, right. So now, I know you can still purchase that DVD, right?
Yes, you can. We've actually, if people want a copy, they can just email us and we can make them a copy, or we can just get us on Facebook.
Okay.
On Brad's Facebook too.
So you think the best way for anybody to get in touch with you is to go on Facebook?
That would be our best way. We do have a phone number that they can call us, or they can get us at freeghosthunt.com.
And can you repeat that again, please?
Yeah, it's freeghosthunt.com.
Okay, and you guys are also on Twitter, because I follow you guys on Twitter at freeghosthunt.com.
That's right, yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So see, when I met them, they were with Brad, and they were doing the whole weird vibes, and I actually have a copy myself, and Brad signed it. I don't think you guys signed it, though. But that just means you guys are going to have to come back to Mass and do an investigation.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, we'd love that.
Do you have anything planned to come up this way, or?
We are actually, we've been talking a lot about it. We want to start going to traveling with this. We want to go to historic haunted places, and obviously Massachusetts would be the place to go.
Where, what part of Massachusetts is it?
Any part of Massachusetts.
Any part?
Salem is kind of where we're looking at now.
I'm sorry.
Salem.
Oh, Salem. Sorry.
Salem, yeah.
Salem is exciting, but it's more...
Commercial?
Yeah, commercialized.
It's very commercialized.
Is it really?
Yes. I mean, obviously because of the actual historic events that have taken place there, but to be honest, they don't even really know the exact site as to where the people were hung. So they have some historic places and things like that, but it's basically an attraction around Halloween time just for the historical events that took place back in the 1600s. So.
Oh, okay.
But it's one of those you have to go.
You have to go to experience it because it's so much fun. But it's fun as a tourist, if that makes sense to you guys.
Right, yeah, definitely.
Like the actual haunted places are not on the tour.
Right.
Like there are some places that are rumored to be haunted, but the actual true haunted places are not the commercialized places.
Okay.
But you have to go,
Also,
no matter what.
Well, maybe if you guys come down, we can meet you there. It's not too far from us.
We'd love to. You guys tell us the day, we'll be there. In a couple months.
Well, we also have Lizzie Borden's, which is a favorite.
Yes.
Yes, we definitely want to get there.
And we have the USS Salem, which Steph and I, we were able to go on this past November.
We just have, like, being in New England, we have so many different places right at our fingertips that,
Oh,
we have a phone call.
we actually have a call. Hold on, guys.
Call from Amy.
Hi, you're on
Press
Spirit
1.
Connections.
To send a voicemail, press 2.
kidding. Hello, you're on Spirit Connections.
Hi, this is Amy.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
Do you have a question?
I guess I'm new to this, so I'm not really sure how to even do this.
That's okay.
I follow you on Facebook.
Okay.
And my brother has passed, so I have lots of questions, I guess.
All right. Do you have a question for the guys for S.L.A.P.S?
Hold on, sorry, my phone cut out. What'd you say?
Oh, I didn't know if you had a question for the guys from S.L.A.P.S, our guest tonight.
I guess my question is how do you channel the energy?
Oh, okay. So basically, Steph and I can both answer that question for you. For everybody's completely, this is just a question as far as being intuitive.
Yes.
Everybody's intuitive. We just have to learn to hone in on it. So I know for me, what I like to do before I do any reading is I like to meditate, bring myself down a few notches. I align chakras and I put my intentions out there, so I only deal with higher spirits of love and light, and I ask for information for their highest, greatest good, and my highest, greatest good as well. So that's what I do before I give a reading. And then what I do is just basically I have to focus and listen, and I go with what my gut is telling me. So for me, a lot of times I see things in my mind, like a memory. So say if I said, Amy, what did you wear yesterday? You would have a memory. And that's how it comes to me. It's almost like little pictures in my mind. And that's how I start anything as far as giving a reading goes. What about you, Steph?
This is something that I was actually born with, so I didn't have to sit down and learn how to do it. I actually receive my information a lot differently than Tiffany does. Things come to me, I can hear them, I can see, different messages, or actually hear like the full sentence message that they're looking to give. I can also see different images and I guess you could say clues from the other side. But as far as how you channel the energy, this is something that if you were not born with, it is something that definitely does take practice. It takes time. It's not impossible though. So it's people call it a gift. Sometimes it is, but at different times it's you want to live your regular life, but it's not really possible. So it does happen in all different ways for all different mediums. People do perceive things differently.
Absolutely, but as long actually there's no but I was just going to say, like Steph and I both said, that everybody can do this, and we can learn to channel and learn to tune into certain things. Again, whether it's like that game memory. If you were learning, you have a stack of playing cards and you pick a card and you try to figure out what that number is. That's a little tool that you can start off with. But if you have any more questions, definitely you can contact myself or Stephanie on Facebook. And thank you so much for calling in and following us on Facebook.
Definitely. And I just have one question.
Okay.
My daughter, she'll be 2 this weekend. And she used to talk about my deceased brother, like, all the time. And now she's kind of ventured away from it. Like, I'll ask her questions, and everything is no. Like, have you seen him? No. Did he give you hugs? No. But then, like, 6 months ago, she would point in random places in my house. He's right there. He's over there. He hugged me. He told me hi. And now it's nothing. So is she, like, starting to lose that? Or is she just that she's different and she doesn't know how to communicate it to me?
No. Children under the age of 5 are intuitive because they haven't learned the ways of what we know yet.
Sure.
Some children can actually, up until age 5, recall past lives and things like that. It's not so much that she's losing something, it's just like she's normal just like everybody else. And as you grow older, like, if that's not the path that she's meant to go on, like, I never lost it because that's just something that's in my blood, but it's something that she's able to do, but she's not losing something. It's just that she's growing up and being a child and doing, learning different things and seeing different things. It doesn't mean that I can't come back and forth between now until age 5, but my best advice would be just to encourage her.
Absolutely.
Not so much ask her questions. I mean, she's a typical, everyday little kid just doing her own thing, enjoying life. And it's not so much that the answer might be no, it just might be that that's not her interest at the moment. So just encourage her to, tell her about her angels and things like that. And
try not to question too much, because just like Steph said, she just may not be interested at that moment.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that she's lost it.
Right.
So encourage.
And that's my thing. And that's my thing right now. I just never want my brother to never, like, she was only 7 weeks when he passed, and they never had that connection. At least I didn't think they did, but...
Well, she has a connection now.
She does, and so do you. Even though they're gone, it doesn't mean that they're gone forever. So definitely keep an eye out for signs and different things like that, and just allow her to tell you things. I know it's hard because, you think that she might have a connection and you do want to hear from them, but like I said, it's hard because their focus is in other things, absorbing all this information that we all have in this world, and it doesn't mean that it can't come back. It just means that she's doing her own thing right now. She's enjoying life.
So encourage, and thank you so much, Amy, for calling us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're
welcome.
Bye.
Bye. We say it at the same time.
Naturally. Okay.
All right.
You guys still there?
Yeah, we're still here.
Okay.
Excellent. So now, I've experienced this. I have to bring Steph there. Before I get into this, if anybody has any questions for these guys, S.L.A.P.S, give us a call at 781-281-8433. Again, we're talking to the St. Lawrence Association Paranormal of Science. It's a long one. But you can contact them on Twitter at Free Ghost Hunt. I'm still getting used to Twitter and trying to post, and I'm always having issues with that. But I wanted to talk to you guys about Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia. Tell me about it. How was it?
It was a great experience. Just to be there in a historic prison alone or something like that. Phenomenal.
I can't answer it until this.
Hold on one second. We just have another call.
Okay.
Oh, they hung up because we took too long.
Sorry.
Just so you guys know, if you hear us getting a phone call, the sound from the phone call and the sound that you guys are putting out are going through the same speaker, so you can't talk at the same time. So in order to answer a phone call, we all kind of have to...
Oh, here they are.
Hold
okay,
on.
hold on.
Call from.
Hello.
Hi, Bernie.
Hey, my wife
Hi,
has
Bernie.
a question for you.
Okay, cool.
Hey.
Go ahead.
All right. So, when I went on that Wareham ghost hunt, and was it Peter was his name? He got an EVP, right? And the voice said, "It's me." Do you think that's someone following him around?
Are you asking our guests, or are you asking us, Bernie?
Well, I'm asking you guys because I want to know, like, they don't seem to do any protection at all. And that seems to be an integral part of dealing with these spirits. I think a psychic or a medium should be on the team, really, right?
I agree 100%.
It is. It's always good to have one of us on.
Yeah. I think we bring to the table something much different than what a regular ghost hunting team by themselves can bring, because we can tell them what's going on or tell them where the energy is, things like that. What you're talking about with the EVP, whether it be like an attachment or things like that, I mean, you can have things, I mean, if you don't know what you're doing, absolutely, and I say this 100% to everybody, if you do not know how to ghost hunt properly, don't do it, because, you know, things can happen that you don't want to. As far as the EVP goes, we were in a pretty interesting place during that Wareham ghost hunt, and I was actually doing readings as well as Tiffany, and I was doing table tipping, so that could have been a number of different things, so I'm not sure exactly. I'd have to remember back.
It seemed to know him. It said, "It's me." He goes, "Who's here?" He goes, "It's me."
But a lot,
yeah, but that's a common
yeah,
answer.
Exactly.
But
or they tend to mock you too. That's also
yes,
very common.
They can actually repeat things that you say. So it's actually a pretty common EVP for somebody to say that. It could also be a loved one of his. We don't know. So without kind of being there and evaluating the situation at that moment, I'm not going to answer that with a definite answer. Just the different things that it could be.
Right. I mean, like Steph said, it could either be, it might not be attached to him.
What was that, Bernie?
The one guy got scratched on his neck.
Oh.
The guy with the flashlights that was blinking on and off when he was asking questions.
I don't think I was there for that.
I know. I'm like, oh no, which one was it? But
yeah, he got scratched. It was not good. I would rather have you guys with me to let me know.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Bernie.
We'd love to be with you guys. But I mean,
anyway,
thank you so much.
I want to say, I got read, and they said I had a lot of people attached to me. Like a woman burned to death in my room when I was a kid. And I used to think about her. I mean, and then when I went to see a psychic, they, who's the woman who burned to death? So I'm loving that you guys are teaching the white light protection, because as much as you want to deny it, this energy is real.
That's the way we choose to go, is for our highest, greatest good. But thank you so much for calling. We always count on you, Bern.
Okay, well, listen, we'll make an appointment one time. So,
sounds good.
Good night.
All right, thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye, Bernie.
Hi, guys.
Yeah.
Hi, sorry about that.
That's
I'm like,
okay.
wait, sorry. We will get this situated. So
You're good.
I was talking to you guys about Eastern State Penitentiary, and I want to know your experience there. Did you experience anything, or was it a quiet night? Because, you know, they're never on call.
Well, it wasn't necessarily a quiet night. You know, everybody had their own personal experiences, and, you know, that's something that each person has to think about as to what happened as far as that night goes. I personally felt that I had some experiences there, and Donnie and Nate, you know, have different opinions and experiences that happened as well, you know, in their own mind. The tour, we broke up in different groups, and we investigated different parts of prison at different times, and then we would backtrack, would go investigate where Nate and Donnie were, and vice versa. And we did have different things happen, and it was a great time. It was a great experience, regardless of the outcome. And we were glad to be there. I'd go back in a heartbeat and say these guys would too.
I had the opportunity to go there this past August. It wasn't in an investigation or anything. I actually went with a couple of my friends, and we went on the tour. So it was quite an experience, and I actually had I actually heard someone say something, and I stopped and I looked around. It was just me and my two girlfriends, and it was a male's voice. And I said, I'm like, did you hear that? And they both said that, like, we did. But the place is just massive. It's absolutely massive. And if you guys ever get a chance, you guys at home, if you ever get a chance to go to Philadelphia, it's something that you want to check out. They have Al Capone's cell there, and of course the dog. Do you guys remember what the dog's name was?
Pat.
What is it?
I think it's Pat.
Is it? Because when I saw the little face, I was like, oh, I hope he comes to me. But I didn't make a connection with him while I was there. But it's definitely something. Now it's funny. One of our callers that just called in, Bernie, who mentioned having us be on, being there when they do investigations. So I'm going to turn it to you guys. Do you usually use psychics or spirit mediums on investigations?
Well, we have experienced we went through, I think, 7 different psychics on our team throughout the years. We really believe in them, and we think that could really help bring closure to people, or to, at the very least, get to the bottom of the claims that we're getting from the homeowner. Unfortunately, the psychics that we have couldn't do that. In fact, I mean, the homeowners were telling us how they were, couldn't be further from the truth. So, I mean, we are always on the lookout for psychics that can help us, but it causes us to be a little jaded. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, we definitely believe it's possible, but the people that we've gone through, we're still looking. We believe it can really help.
Well, it's funny that you bring that up, because I know in some of my experiences, especially dealing with residential cases, I've gone in to do a house reading, and depending on how much information the homeowner knows is one thing that you have to keep in mind, as far as like how much information do they know about the history of their house or history of the property of the land. And then you also have to remember that, and I say this all the time, is that a lot of times people expect to hear certain things, they want to hear certain things, so they have what they want to hear in the forefront of their mind. But usually it's things that they need to hear. So whether it is from a past loved one or someone that's haunting their house, and by haunting I use that term lightly, because a haunting doesn't have to be anything negative. It could be something just, a spirit residing in their house, whether it's residual or intelligent. But I think that's one of being on our side, and I always say this too, we're not here to convince you, we're just here to tell you what Spirit's telling us. So what you take with that information is up to you. So I think that's the tough part, because a lot of times people, again, have what they want to hear, and if they don't hear it, they're like, oh, well, they didn't bring up this or that. But unfortunately, it may not be that important to what the message is about. So that's from my outlook, because I've been there before where people are like, oh, that doesn't make sense, and then 2 weeks later they're like, hey, remember when you said that? It totally makes sense now. But it's difficult because there are a lot of us out there, and there's some that are coming from the heart, and then there's some that are, Steph and I always talk about cold readers, and you guys know what cold readers are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's tough too because, a lot of people like to call themselves one thing, and whether they are legit or not, it's just going with the, what you feel is the right choice. And Steph and I will definitely come out to Messina anytime you guys want us to tag along, because we love doing that.
We'd love to have you up there. I mean, the type of stories that we've dealt with before, usually they come in pretty strong and then they kind of flutter out. I mean, and when I say that is that they make these huge claims that they can do all these awesome things for us and help us, and then either they're unreliable or they make up these outlandish claims or try to read us. That's actually probably the worst thing that happens is that they try to read us, and they most likely they're doing cold reading, and they end up very cold because they end up missing the mark completely.
Well, I guess what I don't understand is why would they try to read you if they're going to a location to read the land or the property?
That's usually their I guess their justification of.
Oh, I see.
They had some sort of ability, and usually that's where it goes. I mean,
and meanwhile, you're like, no, it's not about me. It's not about me. It's about.
Well, and that's the thing. They pretty much set themselves up to fail because I mean, we don't like hold a test or anything. They just say, well, let us call you, and they want to read us and.
It's almost
actually videotape some of the readings just so I could go over and see what they, what they were trying to do and the technique. And I really pinpointed like some of the ones. I'm not going to call any names out, but how they were literally trying to just draw information out.
Right. Exactly. And I think that's the tough thing because you're kind of thinking, okay, well I'm glad you're trying to give me information, but I'm not the one that needs the help.
And that's why when we were down there in Mass, and you zeroed in on Donnie and gave that phenomenal reading of his, I was just blown away. At that
thank
point,
you.
That was the time I had ever seen anyone accurately. I mean, with such information that there's no way you could have known Donnie. There's just no way you could have known any of the things that me, as one of his best friends, I didn't even know some of that information.
Right, and that's the thing. It's information that, and Donnie, I'm sure you can attest to this because it was information at that particular moment in your life that you needed to hear. It may not have been who you wanted to hear from, or maybe it was, but it was definitely, and that's what I always say, that's consistent with readings. It's the information is something that you need to hear.
Yes, because I mean, and I've been talking you up for over since we came here.
Thank you.
And I said, look, you're legitimate, and I want people to feel what I felt that day.
Thank you.
Because a lot of the places we go to, they need that closure. And they want us to come investigate their house because they think their mom's still there because she passed in the house, or their aunt's there. And if we don't find anything, they just assume that we're lying to them or we don't think what they're saying is real. But I think what a lot of them need is just that closure that someone like yourself could bring them. And that's what we're really reaching out to people to see if we can find somebody that can just simply help us in that act. And we haven't been able to find that yet, but we're still looking.
Well, I mean, it's difficult. I mean, there's only Steph and I, and it's hard. We can't be everywhere. But no, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding.
Don't mind her. Her ego.
My ego.
I swear.
My ego. I'm an Aries. I blame it on me being an Aries, Ram. But anyways, it is. It's one of those things. And what you're explaining to me, Donnie, is what I call an aha moment. It's when someone has that first time experience of, wow, you know what? They really are still here. And what Stephanie and I do, what we do is we provide comfort. That's what we want. You know, again, consistently with my readings, whether they were in pain or whether there was an argument before they passed, they may show me that as a form of validation, but they don't hold on to it. So I think that's one of the biggest questions I always get is, are they okay? Do they feel okay? And, you know, I'm sorry. And time again, I always say it's just them showing me just to validate it, but they operate on such a higher frequency. And it's something where there's, because in a lot of cases, unfortunately, death happens, you know, death always happens too soon. I don't care how old you are. It just always seems to happen too soon. And a lot of times people are looking for some unanswered questions. And I'm sure you get that too when you're invited into homes. Like you said, sometimes they think it's their mom and they just want that validation. And you can give them that technical validation, but they may be looking for more of the emotional side as well.
Right.
The technical validation doesn't always happen either if the spirit is crossed over, just making a visitation. So that's hard too, because it can almost let people down thinking that, you know, their hopes are up, that their loved ones are visiting, and then you don't find any technical anything. Technical works great when you're dealing with earthbound spirits, but it's hard because that's a whole other world that a lot of groups, especially around here, don't realize, and they start tapping into, and it ends up kind of causing more harm than good. And we end up getting called in to kind of
right, like, oh no, look what we did, help me out.
Yeah, so it's definitely a whole other world out there that unless you kind of live it, you don't really know about it. And I think it's a cool way to live. I don't think there's anything wrong with being weird and talking to dead people.
Not at all. I honestly would not change it at all. At all. I guess one of the biggest questions we get is, well, do you talk to them all day and all night? And the answer is no. We would be exhausted.
Right.
On hour 3 or 4, we would probably be, all right, time for a nap. But it's just because it takes a lot of concentration and focus sometimes, especially if there are messages to be delivered. I do want to say again to you guys at home, we are on the phone with S.L.A.P.S, St. Lawrence Association Paranormal of Science. If you have any questions about anything paranormal or...
Is it of paranormal science or paranormal of science?
Paranormal science.
Paranormal science?
Because you keep saying
do I keep on screwing it up? Oh my gosh.
I'm like,
I keep on screwing it up. You guys are like, this is the last time I'm ever on this show.
I'm like, what is paranormal of science? That's really weird.
I'm just hoping I get them in the right order. That's all. I'm focusing on like the big words. Like, okay, see, Lawrence, all right. So yes. So if you guys have any questions.
That was just a name I came up with in like 5 minutes, so it just sounded good. It was called S.L.A.P.S.
Yeah, you're just like, you know what, just call it S.L.A.P.S. That's easy. Yeah. That's easy enough.
Started out as a fight club.
What's that?
It originally started out as a fight club.
A fight club? With Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
So I have to ask, did you try to make the word S.L.A.P.S, or did you put words together and realized it came out as S.L.A.P.S?
Well, we live in the county of St. Lawrence. So basically, yeah, we wanted to. St. Lawrence County is actually the largest county in New York. So, I mean, it would take us 2 hours to get across the county, which most places the county is only like maybe 15 minutes. Enough. So we base it around St. Lawrence County.
Wow, that's huge. I know we're about 8 hours away because I've already looked it up.
Yeah, you guys are far.
Yeah, we're up here. We call it Canada, New York.
Yeah, that's exactly where it is. But I promise you, I will get up there for a gallery reading this summer. I promise.
Awesome. Yeah, Donnie said he's working on it.
What, in Donnie's living room? Is that what you said?
Donnie's working on it, I guess.
Oh, I thought you said, yeah, in Donnie's living room.
Well, apparently Tiff just wants to be in Donnie's
Yeah, okay, we'll do a gallery reading there, that's fine. So again, if you guys have any questions for S.L.A.P.S, the number here in the studio is 781-281-8433, or definitely check out our chat room. You guys are probably, if you're watching and you're not in Wareham, you have access to the chat room, so it's a great tool definitely get in there so we can ask these guys some questions that you want to ask them. I didn't know, since I don't have my glasses
No.
on. No, okay.
No. My job to tell you. Not your job to try to read the computer screen.
I can't even see that far because I have no glasses.
But you try.
I try, and
then she ignores everyone else.
When
by
it goes to
squinting at the
split screen, so when the guys are talking, I'm trying to read the chat room, and then it comes back, and I have to go back really quick. But
I'm going to let you run the show by yourself 1 week.
oh, that would be fun. That's a lot. If you guys don't know, there's a lot of things that happen around here. You guys, you have your own show. I'm sure you know what it's like. You guys have.
Oh, do we ever?
It's crazy, right? Do you have a live chat room too?
Stupid silence.
What was that?
Awkward silence, we call it, yeah.
Oh yeah, sometimes that happens, and you just like say something. Somebody say something now. But do you have a chat room for your show?
Yes, we do.
So now
we haven't actually had a show in quite a few months now because September, I think. We basically do them now, like when we got some big thing coming up, or evidence to show. About. Yeah.
Well, that's one thing that you guys do too. Is that I've seen some of your you've done live investigations, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, we've done tons of them. I mean, unfortunately, because we are the technical aspect of everything, 99% of the time we won't find anything. But that 1% makes everything work.
Exactly. When you have that experience, the one that I watched, it was a little over a year ago. I don't know if it was Halloween or not. I can't remember, but I remember it was like in a diner.
That was Banky's, yeah.
I watched that one, and people
that
were.
was Banky's Diner. That's like a local legend. It's been told for years. My mom used to work as a waitress. She says his experience up there, and that was our first time getting in there. Unfortunately, the time we got in there, nothing really happened, and we didn't get to, run the investigation how we really liked to. They kept like generators on for the Coke machine. It was very cloudy.
Right. I mean, I've done that too. There's a local diner that I went to a couple years ago, and yeah, it was really difficult because they had their refrigeration system going on the whole time, and it wasn't that bad when you were there, but when you're going over your evidence and listening to your recordings, you're like, what is that? What is that? And then you have to, your ears are matrixing a little bit and so forth and so on, and so that can run into some issues. I can see that.
Yeah, it was like at one point I think one of the generators kicked on. It was like complete silence for an hour and just kicked on and scares the life out of you.
Ugh. So now, how many people are in your group now?
6.
6. I know. I was like,
you guys counting on your fingers?
I'm like, that awkward silence is here. So you have 6.
Yeah,
who are the founders?
I think we got a good core group now. We did have a lot of turnaround in the beginning.
Yeah.
Difference of opinions and views, and sometimes if it's such a difference that it just, I guess, you end up arguing more than you end up agreeing on things,
Right. Especially when you're going over evidence.
Not that we all completely agree in the group, but at least now we can understand and respect each other's opinions.
Now, see, I mean, that's good. That's good, because it takes, especially I feel like in paranormal, there's a lot of chefs trying to run the kitchen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you have to put some faith into things, and that's sometimes that's hard, especially in my point of view. My point of view, I don't have a lot of faith in some of the things. I want to see more of a technical aspect.
Right.
So sometimes I have to I gotta study a little bit of my, technical aspect to maybe see the forest between the trees, I guess.
No, I understand. I understand completely. Now, I have to ask too, as well, are you guys anywhere near Lilydale?
Lilydale?
Yep, that's in upstate New York. It's one of the biggest spiritualist communities.
for Googling that.
I knew it. I knew you were gonna Google.
How do you guys not know?
I'm
where
so
Lily
surprised.
is?
It's upstate New York, but I didn't know if it was close to you guys or not.
It's a spiritualist community where
It was all Civil War.
different
Oh, it's near
healers,
Fredonia.
mediums, things like
Oh my
that.
God, that's Western New York. That's like you're almost in Ohio.
What does that mean? How far away is it?
From us, it'd be about the same distance for us to drive to Massachusetts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because we're like we're like an hour and a half south of Montreal,
Ugh, that's
Okay.
fine.
southwest Montreal, Canada.
I've been to Montreal in my younger years, my heyday.
We all have. I believe the drinking age is a little lower there.
I didn't go.
I know. It was 18. I remember I drove up on a big bus with all these people. It was a good time. It was a good time. I might have been 20, 21. I don't remember.
Bad kids.
I don't remember. But so
never
wow, you
drank
guys
it.
you guys are really close to Canada then.
Yeah, I mean, we're literally on the St. Lawrence River, which borders it.
Because I was thinking, oh, I would love if I go to Messina, then I can go to Lilydale too. Because I knew it was pretty far away, but I didn't realize the distance. But yeah, Lilydale,
Yeah.
you guys have to check that out. You have to.
Lilydale's like south of Buffalo.
But I mean, do your research on it. Do your research and check it. It's the #1 spiritualist community, and it's supposedly amazing to go. So I know this.
Well, we've been planning trips, so I think that might be
Put it on the
our
list.
I know they're only open to the public like certain times, certain days, things like that, to attend certain things that go on there that they might hold publicly. But it's just like a little community. It's like walking into a different like little village or a little planet all of its own, and it's cool. I'd love to get up there sometime.
Steph and I are planning on retiring there.
You actually have to take a test in order to live there.
I know.
So,
Wow.
yep. So it's the real deal.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So that's something you might want to check out. But I understand because Stephanie and I always say, oh, we're going to go on a field trip here, especially when we have guests on. Like, oh, we're going to go there, we're going to go there. So we're hoping this summer to do some field trips. And
She says this all the time. She doesn't really mean it.
I know. But hopefully we can live up to our word and continue on. So as far as doing the field trips go, continue on.
We'll let you know when it happens.
So,
I found that when we were planning the trip, is to just plan it and go.
yeah.
Right. That's what I do.
I'm the one that has to
Make a decision for four
for
hours,
4 hours,
days.
4 months, 4 years even.
Yes.
I take a long time. I pretty much need someone to just put me in the car and drive, and then I'm okay. Like, okay, then this is my decision.
But you'll complain the whole way there until we get there.
Yes, because I'll complain like, oh, should I be going? I don't know. That's why I always say, I'm like, as far as doing the gallery readings, I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll do it. Let's pick a date, and then I have it plenty of time to let it mull over in my mind and accept that I'm going to go. I'm a freak show.
When she says that she'll promise to be in New York this summer for a gallery reading, she actually means summer 2030.
Yeah.
So
I get nervous.
unless I force her to go, she will not go.
I've already
What
been
you're
like,
saying is don't put any deposits down.
no, I would never not show up. That's totally not me. I would definitely, like, I'm very true to my word. But believe me, since you planted the seed in my mind, I'm already thinking, okay, who's going to go with me? Who's going to be able to drive 8 hours with me? Because hanging out, yeah, I know.
Survive that long.
I'm going to have to pay someone.
If they do, they have to write a book.
I'm going to have to pay someone to.
16 hours in the car with you is a scary, scary thought.
You never know what's going to happen when you're in the car with me
No,
for that long.
no.
Crazy.
An hour's bad enough.
Yeah.
Never mind. It depends if you're driving or not. If you're driving, you're a little bit more focused, so the other person can survive.
A little bit more focused. Not too much.
No.
Yeah.
But yes, I definitely, I promise you, I gave you my word this summer I will come out there. I just got to find
Right.
someone to.
She needs a chauffeur.
Yeah.
I'm writing it down. When I write it down, it doesn't get good.
Okay,
I'm looking
okay.
forward to it.
But I thought we went over 2 dates.
What's that again?
2 dates. We have 2 different dates to go
Yeah,
back and
either
forth.
end of July or beginning of August.
That's
Yeah.
right. Either the end of July or August. We'll talk about it afterwards.
You'll choose August.
Yeah.
More time to decide.
I know. I know. So guys, so now that you're done with Eastern State Penitentiary, and we've talked about you possibly making your way back up to Massachusetts, is there any other place that you plan on going to, maybe a little bit closer to your neck of the woods?
We've talked about a couple. We've talked about Rolling Hills Asylum, Waverly Hills,
Been
and
there?
Movie Borden for the SSTM.
Well, you know, if you guys, you have us to go with you if you do anything up this way, so.
Absolutely.
Well, we are wrapping up, and I want to thank you guys so much for being a part of Spirit Connections with us tonight. Now, tell us again how people can get in touch with you, especially the viewers that are in upstate New York. If they are interested in having you come to their facility or their home, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
The best way, you can get us on our website at freeghosthunt.com.
freeghosthunt.com.
Yep, and from there you can get us on our Facebook. We got the Twitter is at @freeghosthunt. That's pretty much the best way.
Excellent. And then, of course, for all the viewers at home, if you've missed any of that, you can definitely get in touch with myself, Spirit Medium Tiffany on Facebook, or Stephanie Burke on Facebook. And I want to thank you guys so much, and this is our first show with the phone lines, and I thought it went pretty well. So I want to thank everybody, and we will see you next week. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.